Hello, 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 hello. All right, hi there. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to plan a last-minute wedding. All right, here we go. Planning a last-minute wedding doesn't have to be super crazy or an impossible task. In fact, what does last minute mean anyways? I mean, it seems customary to take a year or up to a year or about a year to plan a wedding. So what is last minute? Obviously, if you decide to get married next week, that would be last minute. But what if you only gave yourself 3 months to plan your wedding? Or 6 months? Or 9 months? Are those still last minute weddings? Yes and no, and kind of. Well, anything under 6 months is closer to the last minute category than 9 months and longer. All right, I'm glad we got that nonsense out of the way. The whole wedding industry is built on this idea of a year-long timeline for planning your wedding. But hey, don't worry. It's okay. There are always wedding venues and vendors available for you no matter what the date. You just have to be extremely flexible and creative to make it all work. Plus, like I said, there are so many wedding venues and wedding vendors that you won't have a problem finding someplace and someone to work on your wedding or to be at your wedding for you. You just have the money or, friends or other things. Here are a few tips and ideas to help you plan your last minute wedding. One, check availability on the off and unpopular days and dates. So since many of the busiest and arguably some of the best venues are often booked 12 months in advance, that doesn't mean that you should rule them out. All right, I know you're thinking like, oh, well, we have to go to the odd venues because they're probably not booked, but you never know. So Saturdays are probably going to be impossible, but maybe they have a Sunday available, or maybe they have a Friday available. And check availability for all three of those days and at different times. Maybe you'll get lucky. Sometimes, depending on the venue, they actually will book 1 or 2 weddings in a day. And also, you never know if a venue is open or available for other days of the week. Some venues are only available for weddings on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but then some venues are available maybe on the Thursday or Wednesday, or they're just available all week depending on the type of function. So if they do other functions, then you might be able to book them for your function, which just happens to be a wedding. All right. And if you're really wild and crazy, some venues, yeah, you might be able to do a Thursday evening or other weekday evening. I know, you're thinking like a Thursday evening wedding. Well, the thing is, it's been my experience that people get married whenever they want to. You hear me? Let me say that again. You can actually get married whenever you want to. Maybe after looking things over and with the shortened timeline that you have, you'll discover that you don't mind getting married on a Thursday evening and also saving a good bit of money in the process. Or maybe you'll realize Thursday evening weddings just aren't for you. All right. Another way to help with the planning is to have your ceremony and reception in the same location. If you weren't already thinking of having your ceremony and reception at the same venue, now would probably be a good time to give that option some serious consideration. It simplifies things a great deal. One location for everything simplifies literally everything. Well, nearly everything. And you don't have to search for 2 locations. That was some pretty good circle talk right there, right? Circle talk. Okay. Plus, you have a better chance of consolidating some of your fees. Instead of paying 2 different places, 2 different fees, you can pay a single location, probably less money for having your ceremony and reception in that same spot instead of spacing it out, on top of just simplifying everything mentally, logistically, and schedule-wise. All right. And then be creative and have an open mind about everything. Well, everything. When it's a last-minute wedding, you need to have an open mind about almost everything, but that can be a benefit. All of a sudden, you can do whatever you want, and you have the legit excuse of saying, it's a last-minute wedding. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing all these crazy things. That's why I'm making this decision. It's a last-minute wedding. That's all. Instead of, other fake excuses, you can actually say it's a last-minute wedding. That's why we're doing this. So you have to not spend the money on crazy amounts of flowers, or if you don't want to, that's okay, because it's last minute wedding, or the decorations that you don't really want, or really any other wedding things that you were told you have to have. You can just say, we didn't have it because it was a last minute wedding, or you can always just actually say, we didn't have that because we didn't want that, and that's all, and it was our wedding. But it is nice to have that fallback excuse that everyone just accepts without question. All right, and then part of the planning process is finding out the venues. You want to call, email, or Skype, actually. Your available time to check out venues, meet with potential vendors, and everyone else is very limited or non-existent, especially say you're planning a wedding, a last-minute wedding in a week. You definitely don't have time to see 5 different venues. So use as much technology to communicate with everybody as you can. Instead of meeting with everyone in person, talk to them on the phone, video conference over Skype, Facebook, FaceTime, whatever. If you're looking at a venue, go ahead and visit it once, or check out, actually, if you're looking at a couple venues, find as many photos of those venues as you can online. It's much easier now, especially with wedding photographers and blogs. So find wedding photographers that have shot at those venues. They probably posted either full-on galleries of those weddings or did blog posts with substantial numbers of photos from those venues. So photographers' blogs, and then just Google image search photos of weddings at that venue, and you can check it out and then narrow down your search. And then, that saves you a lot of time. So even if you spend an hour talking to a vendor over the phone, you won't be spending the 1 hour of travel time and the $5 for coffee to meet with them, or at least 5, say you're trying to meet with a couple photographers. You don't have time to meet with a couple photographers. You need to narrow it down before you meet with the one photographer that you're going to choose. So definitely phone, FaceTime, Skype, all those things. Of course, you can have a sit down with you kind of should have a sit down with your wedding team in person once you finally book them all and they're all hired. All right? Another point, package deals are your friend. If you find a venue that has a package that takes care of everything, give that some serious thought. That solves like 90% of your problems. Some venues are just an empty house or warehouse or event space, and you have free reign to take care of everything, and they just give you the keys and make sure you clean up and then lock up, or they clean up and then they'll lock up even. But some venues, they run a whole program, they take care of you throughout the whole day. You do not have to think about anything. They have entire wedding packages where you basically show up, you get married, and then you leave, and you don't have to worry about anything. So if you have the budget for it and you don't have the time and you're planning this last minute wedding, definitely seek out those types of venues. All right. Another quick one is if you're, what you want to do is consolidate as many of the wedding tasks as you can. So if your wedding planner also does floral design, all the decorations, go with them. It'll save you a lot of headache, actually. Your wedding planner is already there all day, and they will be taking care of everything. In the same vein, if your photographer also does video, or if your DJ does video, package those deals together. If your DJs often, actually, they offer photos and video sometimes in their packages, and definitely also a lot of them offer uplighting as well. Basically, any of your vendors that can take on more than one task, as long as they're good at it, go with them and hire them for that. A lot of DJs also, they're kind of like everything about the reception, but many DJs offer photo booths. So if you're interested in a photo booth and videography and uplighting and maybe even photography, and they all are in a package through your DJ, you might want to consider that. Just hire the one company, and everything about your reception as far as the entertainment and the look and everything else will be taken care of. All right, if you have any questions, go ahead and write them in the comments down below. I'll leave a few links for resources down in the description, and thank you. I think that's great. Good luck on your last minute wedding, and yeah, if you need any help planning that, I'll be here. I'm Goldie the Pink Elephant, and I will be here to help you plan any weddings, whether it's last minute or, a year ahead or 6 months or 9 months and stuff like that. I really kind of like weddings, so it's okay, and everything else. All right, and I hope you're having a good day, and drink some coffee. And now a word from our sponsor. Our sponsor is Leah and Mark and Company Photography. They are a pair of wedding photographers based in Atlanta, Georgia. They have been photographing for over 10 years now, and they will make amazing photos for you at your wedding or elopement or any other event you want to hire them for. They fly nationwide. They are on apracticalwedding.com, and they've been highlighted in the Huffington Post and everything else, all the major wedding blogs out there. The best wedding blogs out there. Actually, they are amazing wedding photographers. You should definitely check them out. The website is leahandmark.com. I'll leave a link for them down in the comments below, in the description below actually. All right, have a good day, and I will see you later planning your wedding.